All right, listen. I understand the mentality one man trash is another man's treasure. I get that. I really do. But this whole everyone now needs to sign Jackson Carman stick is kind of getting old. So this is the fourth team I've seen that now I've seen an article written about the Bengals might have gifted, enter team here, Jackson Carman to fix all their problems. And I like to say the teams I've seen this for so far is Cleveland Brownies, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 3 is the New England Patriots, ironically enough, the team we're about to play. And the Miami Dolphins. And I'm sure at the making of this video, there's going to be more teams added to that list. I will say it like this, right? Jackson Carman at left tackle is about average in the league. He's an average left tackle. He's not the worst in the world. At right tackle, you're better off just having a tackle dummy or a Mike Cart. Preferably a Mike Cart. But even with that being said, I get it, he was a former second round pick. And I think that's what really kind of gets people more excited about the idea of, going after a guy like this, is because you see, former second round pick, and your brain instantly goes to, this guy could be something special. This guy could be something good. And I think in a correct system, in the correct offensive line system, with the correct offensive line coach, with a very good, perfectly vacuumed, scenario, yeah, he might be okay. But he's not an answer. What I would say about Jackson Carman, and this is to any team that does pick him up, whether it is the Browns, the Steelers, or Dolphins, or whoever, you're picking up someone who I would consider to be a failed project. He's a project player, and it didn't work out. Now, that doesn't mean he can't be successful. And again, you get the correct guy in charge, and maybe it gets figured out. Now, for the Browns, you guys are kind of in a funny place right now. You guys had Bill Callahan, Brian's dad, as your offensive line coordinator. One of the best in the league. And if anyone could have fixed Jackson Carman, it would have been Bill Callahan. That's just a fact. He could have probably fixed this guy. He could have probably made Jackson Carman arguably a top 30 offensive tackle. But he left you guys. He went over there to Tennessee to playing with Brian, to coach under Brian, because now Brian's the new head coach. So outside of Bill, I don't think the Steelers offensive line coach is going to be able to take, make this project something. And I don't think that the Patriots offensive line coach is going to be able to make something out of nothing here. And neither will the Dolphins. So, while again, I will say, I understand the mentality, one man trash is another man treasure, I would not recommend going after Jackson Carman. I really wouldn't. Even for offensive line depth purposes, I feel like Jackson Carman, if you're looking at him as let's say a long-term offensive line depth option, you could go worse at left tackle, but I just feel like it's just not going to be worth it in the end. It's a project that we tried to work on, we tried to perfect, and to a certain degree, yeah, you could say, well, it was, Frank Pollock, and he was the problem. I don't know 100% if you could say Frank was the problem with every single offensive lineman that didn't work out. I think there definitely was some that Frank had his evil fingers on. But for the most part, I think you can't always blame Frank to 1,000%. Some guys just suck. Some guys are just not good. There are some guys who might have been able to be good or very successful, but Frank kind of ruined it in that context. But I think that there are a lot that just simply weren't good. And I think that's kind of how that all boils up and kind of breaks down. But again, like I said, listen, if you guys want to kind of, you know, the mentality when you're a kid and you touch the stove and you burn yourself and you learn not to touch the stove, right? You guys want to touch the stove and you're the clownies or you're the squealers. Okay, maybe not clownies. I do like you guys. Like, I respect you guys. I don't like you as a team. I respect you because you're also in Ohio, you know. We have mutual respect. But I'm not going to do it to you guys. Now, if you're the squealers, I'm turning that up to the Bunsen burner 7. Okay, I'm turning that to 15 out of 10 on the burn scale, bro. No. You touching that stove, I'm making that lava. If you're the brownies, I'll give you like a solid 2. I'll turn it up to a lukewarm temperature. So you learn your lesson. Now, in the context of all these teams, none of these teams would be starting Jackson Carman. So that's why I'm like, you know, my mentality is this. If they were to, quote unquote, start Jackson Carman, we play all 3 of those teams, outside the Dolphins, of course. Yeah, no, I would love it. I would love to play against him. But the sad part is he won't be a starter. He'll be a depth piece. And on every team that I listed, he'll be a depth piece. So I get it, okay? You know, you want to go for the project. But sometimes there's a reason why a team cuts a certain player. And it's not just because that team thinks that, or that team couldn't figure things out with it. Sometimes the player just isn't that good. So, probably recommend, you know, not going after Jackson Carman. But, hey, listen, if that's what you want to do, your quarterback's going to be the one that pays the price in the end. That's kind of how that works. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one.